The only way to get better at reading Japanese is to read, right? But what if there was a shortcut? In this video, I will introduce you through a story to 5 tricky expressions that you often find in Japanese literature. They are rarely used in conversation but show up all the time in books. If you want to read faster and score higher, you won't want to miss this. The first one is bakari ni. Don't be afraid of the overly grammatical look of it. First, take a look at this story and try to guess what it means. 昨日の午前中の行動を教えていただけますか？その質問の目的は何ですか？質問するのはこちらの方です。こいつ、はい、犯人ですと言わんばかりに緊張してんな。当たりかもこれ。昨日の朝は仕事に行きました。なるほど。本当に私がやりましたと言ってるような顔だな。もう少し押してみよう。Bakari is used when you want to say that an action is not really being done, but it's so close that it looks like it's being done. Most of the time it's used with you, forming iwan bakari ni, meaning that something is not being verbally said, but it's as if the person's facial expression is already telling you something. In this situation, the fact that the suspect is nervous, according to the detective, makes it feels like he's almost saying, I'm the culprit. By the way, you can use it with any verb, and the easiest way to remember the conjugation is to think about it in the negative form. So for you, iwanai, and then you drop the nai and change it to bakari ni. So it becomes iwan bakari ni. So iwan bakari ni, toban bakari ni, taben bakari ni, and so on. Multiple ways to express it more easily in Japanese, like 緊張のあまりにまるで犯人ですと言ってるみたい。犯人ですと言いそうなぐらい緊張してる。The second one, bakarika, also use bakari, but the meaning is totally different. Bakari is used in a lot of expressions actually, and its core meaning of just is somehow maintained across all expressions if you think about it. But just knowing that core meaning is usually not enough to understand the meaning of bakari in each expression. But anyway, try to guess from the story. 昨日の午後も仕事ですか？そうですけど、帰宅してからの行動も教えていただけますか？帰って妻と子供とファミレスに行きました。なるほど。ちなみにどこのファミレスですかね？サイゼリヤです。なるほど。こいつ相当うまいな。一日中に使える仕事のアリバイばかりか。帰宅してからのアリバイまで考えてる。厄介かも。何を頼みましたか？ Bakarika is used this way. A. Bakarika. B. Not only is she smart, on top of that, she's good at sports too. She's smart, bakarika. She's good at sports too. In the story, not only he thought about an alibi for the whole day, he also thought about an alibi for after he got home. 一日のアリバイだけではなく、家帰ってからのアリバイも考えてる。Number 3 is the verb in the te form, followed by the wa particle, followed by another verb, which can just call tewa. Tewa actually has multiple meanings, and the one that I introduce here is the most distinctive one. It might be hard to grasp without an explanation, but anyway, let's carry on with our story and see if you can get the idea. 何を頼みましたか？小エビのサラダとグリルチキンプレートと辛味チキンとマルゲリタピザとイカスミパスタとドリンクバーでしたかな？なるほど。全メニューを制覇しようとしてんのかな？あと下を向いては横目でこっちを見てくる。やっぱ怪しいこいつ。何かを隠してるに違いない。Did you get it? Two actions happen, and by adding tewa to the first verb, you indicate that the two actions repeat themselves. One can be the cause of the other, like gravity on a pendulum, but not necessarily. In the story, the suspect looks down, then gives a side glance, repeatedly. 下を向いては横目で見る. Another example. YouTube を見ては日本語を勉強する. 日本語を勉強しては YouTube を見る. And the easy way to say that, ずっと YouTube を見て、日本語を勉強して、また YouTube 見て、日本語を勉強してる. And the fourth one, だの Dano, you probably know toka. Dano is similar to toka, in which you list things, actions, anything. But there is a difference in nuance with dano. Can you guess that from the story? 少しお待ちいただけますか？何をしたかだの、何を食べたかだの、彼は正気か。聞いてください。時間がないのです。The suspect is dissatisfied with the questions of the detective. They make no sense to him. So he uses dano to list some of the reasons of why he's dissatisfied. It's not that it can only be used to list reasons why you're not happy, but it's usually used this way. 漢字だの、文法だの、日本語はややこしすぎる. And the easiest way to say that in Japanese is by just using toka. 漢字とか文法とか日本語はややこしすぎる. The last one and only kanji word, ぼう然. The bo, the first kanji, here is not a joyo kanji, the least from the government of the most common characters, which means that it will not appear in the JLPT, but I have never ever read any novel that doesn't have it. It's a mouth over a tree, and the easiest way to remember it is to think of a tree looking like this. And how is it used? Let's check the final part of the story. 聞いてください。時間がないのです。時間稼ぎですか？それとも白状する気になったんですかね？いや、あなたの時間が終わりましたよということですよ。私はあなたの心理カウンセラーです。呆然としている。突然言われたら当たり前か。なので今日は3000円です。はい。3000円お預かりいたします。お大事に。はい。And that concludes the story. What do you think? 呆然とする is to be like this. And ぼ is also found in other words like 呆れる and 明け, which have a similar meaning. And the easy way to say that in 日本語 could be ショック受けちゃった。突然言われたら当たり前か。Or you can go for more commonly used verbs such as 驚く. These were the 5 expressions I introduced you today. Tell me which one you liked best. Perhaps they are not for everyone, but for anyone serious about learning Japanese, they are a must. Remember that having them in your toolbox makes you read faster, understand deeper, and enjoy the beauty of Japanese literature. Not only that, it helps with the higher levels of the JLPT as well. This other video, by the way, also helps with all of that. So if you enjoyed this one, I suggest you check this one out as well.